Buenos dias. Então, bora lá. Esse é no Algarve.
Here.
Esse é no Almada. Esse é no Aveiro.
Here.
Esse é no Castelo Branco.
Here.
Esse é no Coimbra.
Here.
Esse é no Covilhã.
Here.
Esse é no Évora.
Here.
Esse é em Lisboa.
Here.
Esse é no Madeira. Esse é no Minho.
Here.
Esse é no Porto.
Here.
Ok, desculpa. Tomar?
Here.
Lutado. We have a quorum of 11 representatives. Thank you very much. Okay. I got 2 words in. It's not on.
Good morning, everyone. Yesterday it was stated that the voting for Exposição de Algarve was a secret vote. Nevertheless, to do this, we need to all vote on it because all the votes are public. Unless we vote on them, so I propose to have a vote to have a secret vote on this topic.
You gave me time to get the camera working. Alright. Is the proposal clear for everyone?
Yes.
Presidents?
Yes.
Thank you. So, yes and Algarve. Yes, no, abstention.
Yes.
Yes and Almada does not have the right to vote. Yes and Aveiro.
Yes.
Yes and Castelo Branco.
Yes.
Yes and Coimbra.
Yes.
Yes and Covilhã.
Yes.
Yes and Évora.
Yes.
Yes and Lisboa.
Yes.
Yes and Madeira does not have the right to vote. Yes and Minho.
Yes.
Yes and Porto.
Yes.
Yes and Tomar.
Yes.
Yes and Lutado. So we have 11 out of 11. It will be secret vote. Okay. That being said, let's talk about voting. I'm going to need every single one of you with the vote to confirm if you have access or not to your ESN email. Okay? ESN Algarve, do you have access to this email?
Yes.
Okay. ESN Aveiro,
Yes.
ESN Castelo Branco,
Yes.
ESN Coimbra,
Yes.
ESN Covilhã. Louder for the people in the back. ESN Évora, ESN Lisboa,
Yes.
ESN Minho,
Yes.
ESN Porto,
Yes.
ESN Tomar,
Yes.
ESN Lutado. Can you send me an email, please? Thank you. This ballot will be sent before we go for lunch, so you get the chance to talk with your sections about the vote, and everything else is going to happen once we come back. For the documents, will be open voting like the quorum checks. Is that clear?
Yes.
Does anybody oppose?
No.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And the ballot's very simple. Aprovam a expulsão da ESN Algarve da Federação proposta pela Direção Nacional da ESN Portugal. Sim, não, abstém. Ok? Ok?
Yes.
Bom dia, obrigada. So, does anybody have any questions, any proposals, anything they'd like to add right now? No, perfect. Then, Patricia, the stage is yours.
Do I use the mic? Do I use the phone?
Please hold.
I will hold. I will start in the meantime. Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Patricia, as you have known, and as talked about yesterday, my contract has been renewed, so I'm doing this for the next few years. We all make wrong choices in our lives. Anyway, so what we're going to do is go through an overview of the current states of all grants related to ESN Portugal since the last national platform. I do give a warning, it's a lot of them. It was a very busy project season. A few in specific grant, we will have a special topic for it, so I will not go through with it, and I'll be more than welcome I will welcome your questions greatly. So, this is the overview of what we're going to do for this presentation, right? So, this is the structure of this presentation. So, we will start with the coordinated grants. To remind you, coordinated grants is the definition of grants that are legally, responsibly, or we are the responsibles for. That means we are either lead partners or coordinators. It means that if something goes wrong, we answer to our financiers or the program which they apply to. Partnerships for grants, it's the term that we use when some other organization is lead partner or coordinator, but we have a budget allocation in that project. And corporation partnerships is the term we use where we are partners in a project, but we're not formal partners. It's a collaboration, and we do not have a budget allocation to it. We're just helping out fellow organizations or higher education institutions. Okay? So, we will start with resubmissions of submissions in the last project season. Project season for Erasmus Plus and the European Solidarity Corps is between February and March. So we are gonna first focus on that. So you heard me say last national platform that we tried to get grant money through the European Solidarity Corps for MESH. That was not approved. We were kind of expecting it because it was last round of the year. The budget is smaller. It was the first time we applied to this grant. So we're kind of feeling our way into this type of project. So we got a score, we reapplied, implemented some changes, and now this Solidarity project with a budget that you can see here is shifted a bit to support MESH activities for late 2025 and early 2026. And it will last around 10 months. This is a lump sum for around 10 months of project. This was one of our resubmissions for this year. Then, under the same type of program and under the same typology of project, we have Mobilidade Mais. Mobilidade Mais is the name that we came up for a project that would support two things. Our now called Mobility in Schools sessions. The grant was not approved, so we keep the Erasmus in the schools for this semester. But the idea would be to support local sections a bit more, but also to have some budget for our activities with decision makers and to also help us be closer to our stakeholders and also for our advocacy promotions. This is the budget. This is 12 months. Okay? Then, this was one of the big ones. So, this, if everything goes well, will be the flagship project for 2026. It's called Europa Portuguesa and is an Erasmus Plus Key Action 1. This is a participation activity, which means it supports mobility activities, in-person activities. And this is it's inserted in the 40th anniversary of Portugal joining the European Community. This was a theme that we heard that some stakeholders, like the National Agency, the representation of the European Commission in Portugal, were thinking of celebrating, and we want to join the effort. And the idea is to look back at these 40 years and see what youth can do in the next 40. Now, this is the requested amount. The project will formally last around 14 months, if 16 if you count the reporting periods and so on. And this is, at the moment, the allocated budget distribution. In the project, you will not find these names. These are our internal names, right? And this was projected according to what we would expect to be the calendar. This does not mean this is final. If we need to change a city, we can request an amendment to the national agency, but we will have to have 4 activities and also some money for project management. Why are the numbers bigger on one side or some activities or others? It will depend on the distance that we get the most participants to. So since we have a lot of people moving to ever, for example, from the north, for example, we have a lot of sections up north, it means we'll have a higher travel budget, for example. And we also adapted to be more useful to us to have more or less participants in each activity as predicted. So for example, the community meetings usually have a lot more participants than LBMs. So we crafted the project to predict what would be our accurate reality, okay? Trainteen, please, if I last too long, it's too many slides. Okay, so in submissions, still this year, still submitted. This is a project that you've heard me talk about kind of slightly in the last national platforms. So this, you've probably seen this name on some slides. Speechless Reconciliation is an organization that works in Czechia. They work to promote skills for young people that are not living with their families, either because they have no families or they've been removed and are under state care. And this collaboration started as an informal conversation during Charlemagne Youth Prize a couple of years ago. And what we came up was this. It's Building Bridges for Youth Without Parental Care. It's one study visit that's going to happen in Portugal that gathers us, Speechless Reconciliations. This organization, which I will not try to pronounce, I am very sorry. I took 1 month of German and I quit. True fact. And the idea is to gather these organizations. These were most closely with youth without parental care, and we will gather Portuguese organizations to exchange best practices about non-formal education and youth for young people that do not live with their families. So it's a small project. It's the idea that this would be a launch pad for these organizations and the ones we will invite to put together another formal project that most likely will not involve ESN, because we also realize that this is a public that we are not experts on, but we're also having an opportunity to build good partnerships for other organizations. This study visit, if approved, it's predicted to be end of this year, early next year, but it's very movable. It's one of the more movable projects. Okay. Still in the submitted projects, I have not slept a lot in the last few months. We had the submission for the International Erasmus Games for All. We will have a topic for this after lunch. Just to let you know, these are the partnership, the NOs that are partnered in this project. You will see that we have increased a lot what NOs joined this project, and we remain from the last ISHKA, which is an umbrella organization for other sports organizations that give us that sport expertise. We will talk about this more on the next topic. Still in the submissions, we also submitted in late December for PAJ, as you know. This is still in submitted because we have not a formal reply, approval or disapproval from IPDJ, which is the grantor of this project. I would like to point out two things that we did hear from. First of all, that the big cost from this project has been not allowed. I think some sections also got a phone call regarding having part of the ESN card process funded. They withdrew this, or we withdrew this, because they would not accept. So this will have to be changed if approved formally. But also, we tried to get some funding for the Christmas with Portuguese families for next year. They also objected to some part of the budget. We tried to get some vouchers for supermarkets for the families to help with the costs. Those go against granting rules from IPDJ. What can you see about this? It's mostly the same. That's the big change. Is Christmas with Portuguese families. Some budget specifically for the pool of trainers to not be lumped in with events budgets and stuff. And you can also see that we increased the budget for survival guides, but now focused on a green addition, choosing better materials, choosing more eco-friendly options, and that section was also restructured. Okay? Still in the submitted, we also applied for the infrastructure support. for equipments. These are the things that we requested. The objective is to fit the camera they requested last year, I believe, and also a projector to be used on anything that we need, and also an AirPad to complement the Parque Informático. There you go. Someone translate that if they could. Of ESN Portugal. We are also waiting for feedback from IPDJ. They did not call us to say that it was not admissible. So we are expecting at least some good news from them. To remind you, as an educational opportunity, every time IPDJ projects are submitted, we have to invoice 100% of the requested budget. What does this mean? It means that if IPDJ gives us this money, we still need to invoice this much. Okay? So this is also a projection of costs in operations. Okay. Still in the submitted, so we're still waiting for approval. We also asked for the budget for our European Solidarity Corps volunteers for 2026. It was a standard application. We usually ask for 3 people for close to a year in order to get 6 months. Portugal is a very country that has a lot of requests, and even though some organizations can finance a whole year, because we are based in a high population area, our headquarters is in Porto, they basically cut a lot of our days. Okay, so we are also waiting for this funding to get approved. Other than IPDJ, we are thinking that we'll have the answer for all these projects around the late May, early June, if everything goes well with the national agency. Okay, for submitted projects, it's done. So here is stuff that has happened, and we are now letting you know about some reported projects. So reported projects basically means the project is done. It means that we let our financiers know what we did, how we did it, what was the feedback from, and this is what we reported since the last national platform. We reported the PI for IPDJ for 2024. It's still within inquiry period. They have not reached out to us to let us know any question. And we also reported our budget and our project with our Ask Volunteers from 2024. It's still within the inquiry period. And we also reported our flagship, no one says it's the flagship, I just like to call it the flagship project, Atitude Participativa, also submitted to the national agency. We are still asking or waiting for their feedback or follow-up questions. We will also have a moment to talk about this at EGM if you'll be there. Good job, Sophia. Yay. So, these are the reported. So now we're going on to ongoing grants, okay? So what is happening? It's finance and we are implementing. So, the flagship, quote unquote, project for this year is Agenda para a Participação Juvenil, which is the project that is wrapping up the 3-year strategy, and this particular one focuses on joining young people, decision makers regarding youth employability. We had our first session on this topic in Upgrade Covilhã, and these are the activities for this year that will be financed by this project, and this is the overall budget. Reminder that the LBM Coimbra is like the big finalization of this project, so it is going to be a bigger event, and it is written and granted as such. Just to keep in mind that we will be spending some time together in Coimbra. Okay? News to come in the following months. Ongoing, we have also the European Solidarity Project for our volunteers for this year. This is the approved amount for this year. Reminder that this is shorter than last year's. Last year's was around 30, this one is 26. So there's still hefty competition for funding. We have 3 volunteers approved. We do have to recognize there was a very difficult recruitment process. We have I think around closer to 30 interviews. I did the math the other day. A lot of people were selected, propositioned, but pulled out last minute. But we have some news. So we have one participant already in Portugal. His name is Tom. You will get an email from him next week to introduce himself. He's the project assistant. We will have Saul joining us after EGM, communication assistant, on the 7th. And we are rounding up the last position, which will be web dev assistant / communication. Due to recruitment difficulties, we might have to find a more broad description for the role, as it's becoming difficult. We have 20 weeks approved. It's the time that they will be with us, which means that if everything goes well, by end of August, they will all be back home just in time for the semester. Okay, now this wraps up everything that we are responsible for, that ESN is legally responsible for. We're now going to talk about the projects that other organizations partner up with us. So the first one is Skill Up. Skill Up is an Erasmus Plus Key Action 2 small-scale partnership project. It is coordinated by ESN Italy. So to them, employability is also an important factor, and they reached out to us in the beginning of the year, saying that they wanted to create a project that would answer their needs, but also to strengthen accessibility to the labor market. And that was really fun for us because we're also promoting that kind of activity. So they reached out to us. They reached out also to ESN Spain. They reached out to Industry Perform, which is a training company based in Italy. They will give the formal training of the project. And ESN Spain recommended this organization that also does training for youth. And ESN Italy asked us to indicate a partner in Portugal to strengthen the project application. We decided to go with CNJ, Conselho Nacional da Juventude, as we were looking for a project with national reach that could help implement local actions and include and promote big dissemination, right? So someone that could also help us reach several places in the country. What are we expecting from this project? There will be a training in person in Italy in 2026. I believe it was in the spring, but we don't have any confirmed dates. We will have local dialogues that you will see and probably help to implement here. We'll have peer-to-peer national training, which will probably support a standing activity that we have, still to be decided. And there will be a kickoff meeting as well. They are asking us to maybe host a kickoff meeting. We will see if the project is approved or not. The requested amount for the lump sum of the project is this. We do not have budget allocation yet, as we can only have that confirmed if the project is approved. It is not uncommon for in these projects with a lot of partners, when the national agencies review the project, one of them falls or they have to reframe some activity. So as soon as we have budget allocation for this project, if approved, we will let you know, probably in the next national platform. Okay, so these is something that you might not heard of, and it's also, I think, very important to us. ESN Portugal is a sending organization for the European Solidarity Corps, which means that we, or mostly me actually, support young people that are looking to do what we have with our ESC volunteers, and we give them pre-departure training and support. I did not put the names of the people that we are supporting due to privacy, but you can see what projects we are either supported or are supporting currently, what organizations are we working with, and where our volunteers are at the moment. This means that we get a small grant to help these participants. It is something that is very nominal, between 100 and 200 per young person, okay? It means I have a call with them once a month, check in on them, And I will not tell you which project, but 2 weeks ago I had to send an email about a cat. That's the kind of support we give. This seems like a joke, but it really isn't. I will tell you that story during the coffee break. So this is also something that we do. So if you know someone from your local sections or yourself want to do a volunteering period abroad under the European Solidarity Corps, give me an email or call me, but probably an email. Okay, still in the projects we are partnered with. So we have ELCRA. You've heard me talk about this every single national platform that we have. It's a research-focused project with some universities and also OpenCom and ESN Italy about environmental literacy. And we are in the ramp-up phase for the second installment. This is a project that's going to be with us until 2026, probably with reporting until 2027. And as we are ramping up toward the second installment, which should be mid this year, late this year, I would also like to point out that a big lump of the project is only given to us after reporting. It's important to know that 100% of the project is implemented before 100% of the project is financed, okay? Which means that we have to have some leeway for implementation. Now, what is the current events? So ESN Portugal is leading Work Package 5.2, which is a communication campaign. We're basically managing the social media of the projects. Thank you, Gonçalo. Please send me the plan for April, if you can. Reminder. And we are also ramping up to do a MOOC for environmental literacy in September. A MOOC is a massive open online course. So basically, the project is creating a 10-module online course regarding environmental literacy. It will be free to access. Signups are expected to be in July. So you will get an email from me and also from probably our social media if you would like to sign up for this MOOC. We also expect an in-person meeting in January of 2026 in Madrid. Okay? Voices of Change. Oh my God. Voices of Change is also a project that we have approved in the last year. It is a 2-year project. It is coordinated by the European Bureau for Scouts, and it is partnered with ESN International, ESN Friend and Us, and those organizations are the National Organization for the Scouts in Poland and the National Organization for Scouts in Romania. We've had a kickoff meeting in Brussels in January. It was cold, as expected. I can happily report. That's me. I am really short. Just notice. So some faces that you will probably hear about. So who's coordinating the project is Federica, but we're also working very closely with the International Secretariat. The person of contact for this is Tiago, which is this gentleman right here, and for ESN Friend is Liana. So these are the folks who we're going to be working more closely. So we're happy to let you know that Voices of Change will support community meetings Minho, at least partially, in 2025. We will have more news about it later in the year. And also, we are expected to host an international event, an ESN international event backed by this project, in January of 2026. Dates are not yet confirmed. We might also host the partners meeting at the same time, but it's still being planned out generally. Okay? Now, still in projects we are partnered with, we also have Speak Out. Speak Out, you might have heard, is one of the flagship projects for ESN International currently. It's not under Erasmus+, it's under SERV, which is this program right here. And I've let you hear a breakdown of the NOs that are participating in the project, as well as the budget that is allocated to them. We will have an in-person meeting during EGM. So while you're having lovely sessions learning from each other, I will be having a partners meeting. Great job, me. And I will also have you know that we will host an international event. It's called the Local Changemakers Training. It was pushed back for October. It will not be a national event. It will be a fully standalone international project. It is tentatively being pointed to Braga, but we did not have final approval from ESN International yet, and still things might change until then. Before I forget, these two NOs, ESN Albania and ESN Bosnia and Herzegovina, since the last time I spoke to you about this project, they are not, how can I go with this quickly? They're not full partners, they're associated partners, right? That means that they don't have the same kind of financial obligations to the project as full-fledged partners like us. In terms of Speak Out, I would like to call the attention for something. We will have focus groups incoming in the next few days. So, I know that date, I did not choose it, guys, I'm so sorry. We will have a focus group about identifying barriers for participation and inclusion. And we are looking for 10 people between 18 and 30 that are available on this day, either one of these two times for a 1 hour to 1 hour and a half focus group. It will be led by Oriana from the Secretariat at ESN International, and you will get an email either from me or from Tom in the next few days. Heads up. Probably it's going to be this time frame because we're also doing it at the same time as ESN France. So basically to match everyone's schedule. I will let you know formally in the next few days. So for IEG 2025, this is a project that is being coordinated by ESN Italy. This is what happened. We had 7 local rounds. We have our Erasmus National Games, and in May 2025 we will have the International Erasmus Games in Milan. And we're almost to the end. What is missing? The reports for local and national rounds are due in mid-April. You will get some emails from me or Sophia to check final details in the next upcoming days. We will have representation on the last partners meeting during IEG Milan. It will be me and Edgar going, and the final report for this project will be due in July of this year, which means we might get our final funding at the end of the year or early 2026. Okay, to the end, cooperation for partnerships. As I said in the beginning, so projects that reached out to us that they want us to get involved, but we're not formal partners, there's no budget allocation to us. So, we got reached out by 2 higher education institutions. Erasmus, which is a consortium currently led by Polytechnic de Coimbra, but also has IPT, Polytechnic Santarém, and a bunch of others, reached out after we tried to communicate about the partnership in the last round of financing. We established a new good working relationship, and we are there as representatives of international students. It will be asked to give feedback on the state of mobility as we can see in the next few years. There is, as I said, no budget allocation. And ISCTE also reached out. They submitted a project regarding accessibility of LGBTQIA plus students to mobility, what barriers, what difficulties they are facing, and how can we find solutions for them. And this, I believe, will result in some training for the staff at International Relations Office. So how can they help to combat these barriers? We also agreed to help in any way we can, and we will also participate in stuff like focus groups or give opinions on it. This does not mean this is approved, either one. It's just they also reached out during project season, and we were glad to help. This is all at the moment. I will welcome all of your questions, and thank you so much. Yeah, no worries, no worries, no worries, no worries.
Pedro Almeida.
Almeida, yes, in Coimbra. First of all, thank you for your work. You are doing an amazing job, and it is
Pedro.
shown by your presentation.
Alto.
So you mentioned that are some part of the grant Europa Portuguesa to cover project management expenses. So what are we really having expenses in project management?
So, project management under this, thank you for your questions, first of all. Project management under these actions are lump sums. So basically they see how long the project is, there is X amount per month, and that results in project management. Project management is not something we requested, it comes along with the events that we manage. So this will cover everything that is extra. Do you need to go there before to prepare the project? Do you need to maybe across all events, not just for one? It can be that. It can also be something like expenses for the trainers. So it's basically everything that is not just for one specific event, and it's not participant related. So participants' budgets are per person per day. So it's everything that is the cost of the management for that particular project.
And I think I can do the other question.
Se falares alto.
Would it be a good idea to include FADU on the partners of EIG? I didn't put in that. Of the EIG project, would it be good to include FADU, and is it possible?
So I assume you mean International Erasmus Games for All. So at this point, the project is submitted, so we can positions that we find that are useful to our implementation, but they're not formal partners, right? So that consortium is already really big. It's already difficult to manage. That does not mean that we cannot reach out to them and include them in our planning or support, or any local organizations that we might find useful, like we did with any event, right? So reach out to city halls, reach out to higher education institutions. They will not be formal partners. Anything that we collaborate locally, we would be responsible for them, right? And that also means they're not formal partners. They cannot have budget allocation to them, right? We can agree on something, but we would have to pay for it and be responsible for it.
Thank you.
Miguel.
Miguel Fragnitas.
Alto.
Miguel Fragnitas and Gustavo Branco. The grant for training events are great, and I really don't have an issue. If anything, they're too great, because I think those is going to have to be lucrative to actually spend the entire budget. Since it may have, since it can happen over budget, as in the total value allocated to the event surpasses the total cost of the event, can this cause issues for the grant?
Okay, thank you for your question. First of all, the good thing or the bad thing about these sort of projects is that we don't control the budget as directly as it might seem. So basically, we tell how many people we are expecting, for how many days, and where are they likely to come from. So we kind of look like, okay, yes, and Porto sends 10 people, yes, and Lisboa sends 8 to 12 people, okay. And then it generates that budget. A lot of that budget is travel, so the things that the OC might work with is less, right? So let's say, out of the top of my head, the working budget for like food and accommodation might be close to like 6,000, 7,000, and not the big grants. Which means that we'll have low fees, and maybe we can do something nicer than usual. If we still under budget, what we can do is one of two things. If we don't meet the participant quota, as in we don't have enough people to ask, we will have to tell the national agency that and be like, we did not meet the quota, we didn't get the 5 people we needed. That means in our reporting, on the last 20% that we will receive at the end, they will deduct from it, right? So we have to implement 100% of the activities with 80% of the budget. In that case, we do have to give some money back, right? If we don't spend all of the grant money, but we meet the participants, we reach the KPIs or the key performance indicators, we can allocate some very small budget to other activities, right? Or increase the participant numbers on other activities. But we'll probably ask for an amendment to the project. So it's not the end of the world. It just probably means we can have nice coffee breaks. I would love a cheese board in Castelo Branco. Love that. I would support that. And we can have that in the grant. Great.
Cena?
Tomar, ASM Lisboa. First of all, thank you, Patricia, for your work. I just have a small doubt regarding the tasks of the European Solidarity Corps volunteers. Why did we change from a policy assistant to now an IT assistant?
Thank you so much. So this was a collaboration strategically between me and the national board. Why was that? First, because there was a need. Clearly, the IT community doesn't have as much. And also because my personal feedback on this is that we had a policy assistant, Gemma, we were really proud of her, but we did not have as much workload as expected, right? So in idea to maximize the budget and maximize this help, we thought that IT would be an area that needed to be more service, which means there's a great work from the education department that they don't need this extra person, so good job, education department. And yeah, this was like the two reasons, the need and the better utilization of this extra person.
I propose to close the speakers list. Does anybody oppose? Speakers list is closed. Delbert, appreciate. Já fechei. Já está fechado.
Tu fala. Mas só eu bati-lo primeiro.
Yeah, it's like this every week, guys.
Vocês foram chamados, não sei se sabe. Ai, Jesus Cristo.
As pessoas em casa estão à vossa espera.
Yeah,
Desculpem, pessoas em casa. Tem que ser em inglês? Tem.
yeah.
Dear Patricia, no, all joking aside, thank you so much for your work. It has been a pleasure to work with you ever since I joined this mandate. Not only the part of your extreme dedication to make sure you put up with our craziness in every board weekly meeting. Desculpa, só. But thank you so much for your work. We can see that the Federation has had a significant the quality of the events has been significantly increased because of the work that you have done. You not only bring this quality to the national events, but also you're really nice to work with, and you bring a really nice vibe to the events as well. I really like that. And I'm so thankful that you decided to keep staying with us for the next 2 years, and I think the next national board should kiss the floor and thank us for ensuring that. Thank you. And thank you to Tremoso.
Tomoso is my cat. Okay, he joins a lot of the meetings, but also I have to say I have a second cat that is constantly underrepresented in my life. Shout out Olivia, you're a great cat.
Olivia, é isso. Olivia.
Okay.
Eu passava bem com um coffee break agora.
O Helder achava que era canela.
Achavas o quê?
Que o gato era canela. Ele achou que era canela. É. Sorry, se fizer.
National Board.
E eu li.
Faz favor.
Vem dar a mão.
Bom dia, gente.
I am here for you.
Bom dia.
Vá. Eu só digo quando houve o evento. Disse o feedback, aquela fala do dinheiro.
Ai, sim, porque vomitei a informação.
Olha, eu vomitei mesmo.
Hello, good morning, sunshines at home. Vai.
Tá. Não tens câmera enquanto tens pointer.
Good morning, everyone. So, Regarding the national events, we had the Erasmus National Meeting in November. We had 150 participants. The fee was 65 euros. We have been partners of the EIG Grant 25. We had SN Porto, Minho, Lisboa, Coimbra, Aveiro, Tomar and Évora. Regarding the feedback participation, I want to let this clear. This was a meaningful requirement for the grant, and we only achieved 81 answers of these participants. So we need to start to improving that. We need to share and to promote with our volunteers, because the same applies for the training events. The feedback is not huge from the part of the participation. Regarding CM's Minhos, we had how many people of trainers? Two, and alumni, 55 euros, 71 participants. Regarding SN upgrade, we had 47 participants, 35 euros fee. However, again, we only had 27 answers to the feedback forms. Then Tomar, 43 participants, 85 euros. Regarding NM.
So, hello everyone. So regarding ENM, thank you all. We achieved more registrations than last year. So we are almost filling the whole hotel. However, there's still this 20 plus refunds, guys. Okay, this is lost money for us. So we are thinking in ways of covering these expenses, because these refunds imply fees from Stripe, as you know, and these take like money from the overall budget. So yeah, probably next year the ones that ask for the refund will have the refund, except for these fees. We already had the study visit. It was very positive. All the partners are really open to work with us again. So we also renewed the support from the municipality, and they have a lot of ideas to collaborate with us. And as you might have seen in our schedule, we have a lot more activities this year, from morning activities to afternoon. Thank you a lot to the OC. And I have a special news for you. So we have 10 more spots to sell for ENM, okay? Only for a week. So we can try to fill the hotel like completely. During this week we have 10 spots. You can, like, for people that forgot to buy or are like maybe I regret not buying, we have 10 spots. We will open them on Monday, and yeah, these are non-refundable spots, okay? But yeah, we will open this. And yeah, more news to come soon, and for now that's all. Thank you. Speakers list is open. Pedro Almeida, loudly.
Pedro Almeida, SN Coimbra. First of all, I would like to thank you, especially Edgar, for making the events such in advance and with so much quality. And I would like to ask, how many participants did we have extra comparing to the last year?
Okay, so last year we had 415. So now we passed by 14 spots, okay? And not counting with the section delegates and international guests, because with that we are still counting, and we'll see how many spots we did.
I'm confused.
Yes.
400 then?
Last year it was 415.
But now we have 429?
Yes.
And we have more than last year?
Yes.
More constant
50.
Okay, I was understanding.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Manel.
Yes, and work tomorrow. Okay. So, in the local board meeting, you mentioned that you were going to review that email which you sent us about financing the section between the delegates. Any news on that? Any news on that?
So for now we don't have any news on that. We are still waiting for the last numbers to have everything correct, like the refunds and everything, to give you more news. But yeah, we already talked about other options and stuff. But yeah, we are open. We will still check what we can do. Okay, but we don't promise anything because yeah.
You won't what?
No, we don't promise any changes.
You promise changes.
No, we promise to look into that.
Procedural.
One at a
Isto não
time.
é assim que funciona, não é uma conversa de café. Sorry, when you speak like a conversa de café, it's a conversa de café.
You can have a reaction.
Because in the local board
Marta.
meeting, you said you are going to review the
Marta.
procedure. You said this.
Pronto.
So,
Procedural. There are no direct interactions if the names are not mentioned.
Mariana Costa is important.
No,
That's
no,
good.
no one mentioned you.
But can I make like a reaction?
Careful.
Or do I have to put another question?
Ideally, another question, because the reaction does not imply an answer.
I did a question.
You can do
And
careful.
even more, like, you should obviously review this, even more, as you showed in this update, that we supposedly exceeded and improved the participation from last year. So, I don't know, I don't think we're to, because I don't know the final numbers, I don't think we're to reach the number of last year. We are still the most, the section that sells the most spots. So, we overall, all the sections exceeded the spots of last year, which were not, okay, it's another question, but, so I think you should review it, and we should get good news about it, to be honest. That's what we deserve. But that's all my comments.
Pedro Almeida.
Pedro Almeida, SM Coimbra. It is not exactly a question, it's just I want the NP, the National Board, to have in mind that if we have a free spot, I'm speaking for SM Coimbra at least, if we have a free spot for our SD, we still have the budget to get one more person for free from our section. So that information would be good before closing the inscription.
To let you know, like, we are still receiving refunds, okay, and we are constantly receiving those, and yeah, like, we can't promise that the numbers that we have now will be the same that we have, like, at the date of the event, okay, so we have to be careful also about that. Like, I had 13 refunds in one day, like 13. If we have 13 refunds from now on until the day of the event, that's a big difference also in the budget overall, so.
Can I make
And technically, the refunds can be asked until 10 days from Friday on. So.
It is okay for us in SM Coimbra if you allow us to register one more person after you decide. Also, if we are saying that if we get to the free spot, we will still add one more person, so it's more money.
No, it's the same money.
It's the same amount.
It's just two people.
But it's the same amount, but yeah. But you get one extra.
Is anybody adding themselves to the speakers list? And like I've stated in every single national platform where this topic is present, which is every single one of them, ENG and NM are not the only national events. FYI.
Andou aqui a matar.
Felipe.
Querer saber de correr e da praia.
Okay, so Felipe and Porto. In 2023, I had a problem with one of my international students having hurt in the first game, and I had to go to the hospital with him. In 2024, another problem happened. We reported in 2023 regarding the paramedics. In 2024 was again a problem. Is this something that is now clear that the future needs to change?
Yeah, again, we already talked about that in the committee call, I think. Regarding that, we try to search for paramedics or volunteers without paying, because only to have an ambulance there, we pay a lot. And someone to be present. And this will increase a lot the fee in general. And we have the
Insurance.
Insurance.
Okay. But I talk on behalf of Yes and Porto, obviously. Please increase the fee if it's regarding safety. Just this is our straight to the point, because as an ST, I know how hard it was to go to the hospital, and I was lucky that I had Gonçalo, was part of the OC, to support me while I was in the hospital. Because if I didn't have anyone, imagine having 20 around it out, and you know how hard it is to manage already the event for you, you also have to manage the international students. It's ridiculous. And safety and security lobbying is something that we need to talk about.
Agree.
Thank you. Margot?
Ana Margarida DSN Lisboa. For UNM this year, because the logistics changed for the registrations, we basically ended up asking our international students if they wanted to come with us in a bus range that we managed basically. And they had already figured out their transportation because we only were able to get in touch with them later on. So basically, we can't guarantee that TSD, which would be Kaka, will be able to have all the deposits when he arrives, and that every student will be there to do the check-in. So we thought of a way, and we wanted to see if it was possible. Basically, to create an internal sale for the Erasmus students to transfer as the deposits, and we would transfer you before the event. So you would have all the deposits previously. So if a student arrived in the afternoon, because as I said, we can't guarantee since we don't have a bus, it wouldn't be a problem because you already have the deposits.
Able to collect all the deposits. So we are in this moment finalizing this kind of details, okay? Like that's a really good idea. It's probably an option, and it will be a good option. All I can say to you is that thank you. We will think about that as soon as we have more information. We will talk with you, okay? Because we are also like talking with the hotel to see if we can fasten the way of them to give us the deposit back, okay? Because yeah, we know that some sections won't be with their section delegate all the way, and we are trying to agilizar that process, okay? But yeah, that was a really good input. Thank you.
Actually, yeah, the question is mine.
Lord.
Lord, SN Mimo. If we know we are losing money due to the refunds policy, I wonder if you have any strategy for the next year on how to avoid this problem and what to change and how to change it?
So by law, we are obligated to have a refund policy. Okay, we don't have it. So these refunds, some of them were also present in the budget. Were also budgeted before the event. Okay, we were not counting on as many as we did, but still, yeah, it's not. It's significant because we don't want to be having all this process over and over and over again, but at the same time we can avoid them, and we can say to the international students, like, don't ask for refunds. We probably next year, maybe the approach should be like, make a thoughtful purchase. Think before you buy, or those kind of things. But yeah, we can change this, and like we don't have.
We can put the taxes, for example, for the refund. However, this is the minimum that we can short is 10 days.
It's 10 days.
So by law, we need to give the refund after 10 days of the
until 10 days after the event. Marianne.
Okay, first of all,
Marianne.
Marianne. Marianne is in Port, sorry. First of all, I want to apologize the way I used to do before, but especially to the Max or Mark. But we have, for the ones that might not be aware, we had a local board meeting where we talked a lot about this topic. We present you the numbers, we presented how the system that you proposed is unfair to every section in Portugal, and I don't think we should bring that topic to here, but we can, because we still have all the thoughts we did and we can bring the numbers. But in the end of that topic, you said you were going to review the situation. This happened in February, and we are now entering April. You have a board meeting every week. I know you were busy, but this is an important topic since the STs need to be prepared. I was looking at the last numbers Edgar sent that are not the final one, and we have, for example, 4 smaller sections that probably, sorry for talking for you, but probably don't have the money to pay AST, and if you don't tell them if you are going to change the system for them to have an ST, how are they going to register this ST? Did you save spots for them? Or because if you change the system and the hotel is sold out, where are we going to put the ST?
Okay, thank you for your question. First of all, we said that we are going to talk about it, but it doesn't mean that we agree with you completely and we don't have. The answer doesn't have to be, yes, we are going to do what you propose us to do. It's like, the answer is, we are going to continue to talk about this. The right answer in your heads is like, we have to do whatever you decide we have to do. But that's not the I'm talking, yes. But that's not the thing that we promised to do, whatever you decided we had to do. About the spots, I let them talk about them.
Yeah, we already sent a message for the STs group saying that they will have a link to make the registration after we make all of that assessment. Because I don't will put the STs paying the event and then we need to make the refund because they sell more than last year. So they have a spot. They have a spot.
Even if we need more spots, there are other hotels nearby that also have an agreement. It happened other years and everything. Like, it's normal. They are used to it, and we can pass like DOC or something to the other hotels.
And another thing, we are selling this as a federation, not a section anymore. So there are students that are not part of the section that are going to the events, and we are going to be their section delegates, as we can call that. So the other international students, even if they go from your sections without a section delegate because you don't have money to pay or didn't
comply with the numbers that we said that you will receive money if you did that for the paying of the section delegates, they will still have someone helping them and being there on the events for them to support.
And as we mentioned in the local boards meeting, that person is not a familiar person. People want to go to the event too. Like, I will not repeat all the arguments I used, and we didn't make one proposal. We showed you how this is unfair, and we showed you many possibilities to change a system that is unfair. So, we didn't make a proposal because we were waiting for the national board, because it's still your responsibility to take care of the sections. It's not my responsibility to give you the answers, it's yours. We, as the SM board, showed you a lot of possibilities, and in the end, you said that you saw, and all the sections agreed with us. Like, your job is not to follow what we, the SM board, do, but the other sections agreed with us, and you saw that this system is unfair. So, if you are saying that you said that you were going to review just to do nothing, I don't have further comments. Like, this is shocking. This is the proof that you are failing on network care with all the sections.
Manuel. Name and section.
Manuel Silva, SM Board. So we are continuing as well with this because we also mentioned the local board meeting. The fee was increased for 30 euros and there is no sufficient explanation into our answers on that fee. And can I give the context? I'll be quick. Why is this important for our section specifically? We have a competitor at LXXII that, from an international student perspective, not from an international perspective, sorry, for maths simply, they have a cheaper event with them. They have more, and from the perspective of an international student, the event itself is more appealing in our view. A simple budget breakdown would explain all of this. If you mention how much profit you want to make with an M, how much the hotel, like the big things. We don't have to know how much are the confettis. We just want to know like the big lines, so we can understand your point of view and we can align with your goals. I don't think that was done, and yeah. So I just want to understand why the increase, why this lack of transparency.
So the increase, as I said, is due to inflation. More than half of these 30 euros is due to the hotel. I already talked in the BFC national call and said, do you want the budget for the NM? I can sell you. I can give it to you. And no one came to me and asked for it. Okay. I asked in the BFC call and said that if you want, I can give it to you.
So, me in the local board meeting and as part of LOC, I asked you several times. Each one of you has a message with me asking for a budget. And it's not to like gossip about it. It's just to see like why was it increased, because this is important practice. All of you have that request from me.
Yes, in the yeah. But yeah, all I can tell you is due to stripe fees, for example, that we didn't have last year. Hotel increase, inflation in all the materials. Okay, like it's something that we can control. Okay, if it was for me, the fee would be the same as last year. Okay, like of course I'm not happy. The only thing that I can say for the other event is that it's the first time they are doing it. They are trying to do they are trying to compete with ours, and probably they will lose money because it's impossible at the moment to do an event like that. At least in Albufeira, with how they are doing it, it's impossible to do for 200 euros.
they are not losing money, obviously. Like, they don't do any event. Erasmus Live and Erasmus... sorry, man. I'm speaking really loud. No? No? Okay. I'm sorry, but Erasmus Live doesn't do an event to lose money. Like, it's just what it is. And also, like, you mentioned right now, like, for you, the fee would be the same. But, like, then why... You know, because you said, the hotel increase, the inflation. Yeah, but how much specifically?
I said, like, more than half of the 30 euros is for hotel.
Yeah, the event, the hotel increased 4 euros per night per person. If you make the counts, it's 5k. We pay now tourism taxes in Algarve. Another 5k. 10k divided by the number of the participants is 27.35. So make the count with the nights of the OC spent in the pre-event and divide for everyone. You have the 30 euros of increase there.
This is a line of the budget.
Yes.
That's what I was. This was my question.
Thank you. Rodrigo.
So, LXXII from Tomar. Since the refunds are having a significant negative impact, can't you apply tax on the refunds, or do you have to wait for a specific timetable for being able to tax the refund?
If you if you will read the liability agreement, you will check a line that say you have 10 days to the total refund. After the 10 days, we cut 50% of the refund.
Márcio.
Hello, Márcio Couto from ESL Lisboa. Well, will be the first reunion of section delegates be happening. We're less than a month away. It's very important for the SDs to have in time direct information from the responsibles about room allocations, more direct information about the events. For context, last year I was SD, also like Mariana Costa, for example.
Yes.
We had the reunion lights mid-March. So, yeah, when is going to be the reunion?
I'm 15 days late, so the event closed Friday. We can't make the room allocation yet, or propose that, because, yeah, I understand. We are gathering the information that we are missing to pass on. So,
yeah, I'm not saying like
in the space of 1 week, 2 weeks, when we finish the event, we will pass all of the information and they have a meeting.
Just on the perspective of the SD, I know it's very hard for you and we are a lot of sections and there's a lot of participants, but for the SD it's really hard to try to communicate that the NM and the organization is being held like seriously. If we can't even contact them, they purchase a ticket and we can talk with them for 2 weeks. And we can't arrange the transportation, we can't arrange anything with them. I think we should have a better way to do this because it seems really messy for the international students. And sometimes I don't get surprised if they end up asking for the refund since they see how messy in their eyes. He says bingo. Just.
Is anybody adding themselves to the speakers list? I propose to close the speakers list. Is anybody opposed? Speakers list is closed. Thank you, National Board. Rodrigo. Fazemos coffee break. Vocês também? I can propose a change if needed. Do you want to change? Okay, so I will propose a change because we're so early in the agenda to put the digitalization of ESN Portugal forward before the coffee break. Is this clear? Yes. So we will do the digitalization in ESN Portugal topic now and then postpone the coffee break for its original time. Is this clear? Yes or no? Yes. Great. ESN Algarve? Yes, no abstention.
Yes.
ESN Almada does not have the right to vote. ESN Aveiro?
Yes.
ESN Cristal Branco?
Yes.
ESN Coimbra?
Yes.
ESN Covilhã?
Yes.
ESN Évora? ESN Lisboa?
Yes.
ESN Madeira does not have the right to vote. ESN Minho?
Yes.
ESN Porto?
Yes.
ESN Tomar?
Yes.
ESN Otávio?
Yes.
Thank you very much. We will have this topic now. If the National Board will step on stage, please. I don't have it.
Foi o Edgar que deu.
Vai,
Thank
Tisha.
you,
Ô, Tisha!
Tá do câmera?
Tá.
Ah, tá. Desculpa.
No caso era a primeira.
It's not a green light.
Essa gente que é boa.
Que coloca? Não tem câmera enquanto estás com o câmera.
Não tenho câmera.
Não tem entrada.
Mas eu não preciso da câmera.
Não tem só para avisar, ou seja, quando estiver na Q&A vai estar on camera. I can pause for you. It's fine.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
I have the.
It's fine. Okay, so
We're in session.
yes, please. Thank you. Let's talk about digitalization in ESN Portugal or in ESN itself. And I know you skipped the 3-year consultation topic, but surprise, surprise, this is also going to be consultation. Please don't change the agenda. Yes, so if you can skip it, Marta. Yes, we're going to be talking about something that spans over 350,000 students, 15,000 volunteers, 15 years of work, 70 hours per month, and 100,000 euros worth of investment. What all of these things have in common? Well, first, they kind of make a heart, and that's something I noticed while I was editing this Canva. But also, they are all about one big project that ESN International is putting together. Does anyone know what it is? Has anyone read the AMS concept notes? No. 3 people, let's go. What is the AMS, you're probably wondering? The AMS stands for Account Management System. And as I just said, it's this big project that ESN International has been putting together for so long. And basically, it's going to do 2 big things. These are the flagships of this project. It's going to be a unified login system for most of the ESN International services, such as ESNcard.org, Erasmus Inter, and hopefully in the future, the events platform that they're going to have on their own. And it's also going to be part of the digitalization of the ESN card, as well as its purchase, distribution, and validation. It's all going to happen in this same place. And it's going to be really important for ESN International to finally have all of this information centralized in just one platform. As you probably know, we are using Event Hub for all of these matters. And other NOs might not have a platform like we do. Other NOs do not have anything at all. Some sections do not register these numbers. And it's really important for ESN International to centralize all of this information. And that's the main focus of this project. Yes. This is a little bit of the evolution. As I said, it's been spanning for so long. It actually started as an idea for ever since 2017. with this concept created in response to increasing digital needs. And then they started talking about implementation stages, up to the point that this year or last year, actually, a contract has been signed with Droptica. I'm going to talk about them next slide, but no. But yes, they signed this contract with Droptica, and they settled this whole development structure. This year we had the alpha release during community meetings in Porto. And for the next year, they're going to be focusing on the beta, and we're going to be testing all throughout the nodes of the network. And hopefully in 2032, it's going to take quite some time. This is going to be fully finalized, and we're going to have a fully digital ESN card. So what's Droptica? What is this company that ESN International has hired to do this project? It actually has been doing other projects for ESN International. It's like their outsourced main company type of thing. But yes, they have this deal with them. It actually, in the beginning of the deal, they had some issues regarding slow communication and basically lots of miscommunication in between them, and sometimes it was slow, sometimes there was waste of resources from both sides, so they had to settle down, and now they're doing like bi-weekly checks. They're doing more consultation with each other to make sure that this process goes well. But as I said, it's going to be a lot of investment coming from ESN International. So far, it's been more than 100,000 euros. For this current year, it's going to be previewed investment of 47,000 euros, which translates to 70 hours per month worth of work coming from Droptica. For the future, it's going to depend a bit on how the project's going to scale and what needs we're going to require from them. And that's a bit about what they're doing. And of course, regarding governance shifts, as I said, this has been happening since 2017, and it started off as a WPA and treasurer partnership, and then it was just treasurer, and then it was just WPA. Now it's WPA and treasurer working once again together. But the idea is that there's always someone leaving and entering the mandate and carrying on this information so they can both work together. So what's the roadmap for this project right now? Right now we're in phase 1. As I said, the first ever mention, or the first time we ever saw this, was in community meetings Porto, in the IT community, of course, and where the participants got to test a bit about this tool. And here you can see some of the features it features. Basically dashboards for each section, for each node. There's going to be role-based, very much like the ESN accounts. The big difference, I guess, is going to be that students and ESN volunteers are going to use the same portal for whatever they like. Multiple payment options, of course, the digital ESN card. There's going to be verifications for the ESN card, of course. And the section, the higher education institution filtering, I'm going to talk about it afterwards as well. Phase 2, which is going to be starting anytime soon next semester. Basically, they're going to choose one ANO to start testing this feature within its sections, and they're going to gather some feedback. They're going to be adapting all the legal frameworks and everything related to make this thing happen in this ANO. And from that moment on, they're going to be doing some gradually, kind of like in a pyramid structure. So they're going to go from 1 ANO to 2 ANOs to 3 ANOs, up until the moment that all of the ANOs are going to have this project implemented. Of course, right off the beginning, we're still going to have the physical cards, and this tool is not going to be fully implemented. As I said, this is going to take, and it's going to span a period of 5 to 6 years. And that's about it for the phase 3, and that's going to take us to pretty much 2030. And you're probably wondering, what about us? What are we going to do right now? So we're going to have to prepare a bit when it comes to legal readiness. Probably in all of your standing orders, you mentioned a physical ESN card. You might be using the PAJ grants to get some profit, well, some money out of the ESN cards, perhaps not this year, but in previous years. You might have an office just to deliver these ESN cards, and with this new project, this might change. So you have to have this in mind, perhaps when you're signing contracts for a new office. Is this actually going to be worth it for you, for your section? You're going to have to adapt to this reality. Like most of your offices is probably mainly to deliver ESN cards. If you're not going to be delivering ESN cards, is that going to be worth it? This is something you're going to have to assess within your sections. Something you're also going to have to prepare a bit Actually, not as much in our NO, but in this AMS feature, every higher education institution is going to be associated to just one section, and one section can have more than one higher education institutions. This is going to be a problem or a concern mostly in cities that have more than one ESN section, because one higher education institution can only be related to one ESN section. And this is some technical requirements that they have in the concept notes. Last but not least, ESN International is going to put a lot of effort to have some upskilling in IT, because right now this too is going to be supporting all of the stakeholders of ESN. That includes all of the students, all of the volunteers. We're all going to be using this too, and ESN International cannot put up and support all of these users, so they're going to be upskilling and they're going to be supporting the NOs and the sections, so these people, the NOs and the sections, can support the final users, which are the volunteers and the students. And that's about it. Let me just, before I welcome your questions, which I'm sure you're going to have some, just going to do a little disclaimer, because this is all being brought by ESN International through a concept note that was released 2 weeks ago. So all of these things that I'm sharing, you also received in your sections emails. And all the information we have right now, it's in there. So it's not my project. I'm sure you're going to have amazing questions. I'm probably not going to be able to answer most of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to collect these questions, and we're going to ask Darwin and ESN International, Ruivinha as well, in the next upcoming GA, so we can give our input as a federation. And that's about it.
That's really cool.
Philippe.
Do you know the criteria for the selection of the trial NEO? Is this being revealed?
Yes. Basically, they said it has to be like an NO that is really prepared in the IT sector. They didn't really dive into details. Oh, this is actually something that I didn't mention, but I asked Darwin like 5 or 6 questions. This was actually one of them, but he didn't give me the answer on time, so I can bring these answers to you.
Okay.
But let me just check real quick if they say something else.
For the minutes, Philippe ESN port.
Thank you.
And congrats.
No, they didn't say anything else. They said it was a dedicated and no, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, please. Event features.
Não tem duas, posso abrir?
Está cancelado.
Está congelado.
Ah, perdão. I was handling the streaming. Go.
Yeah, regarding the events part, I'm a bit concerned, I must say.
Me too.
Because, you know, ESN Portugal and SWEP as a general region is super strong events. We are pretty much the best. Or we are the best. And I'm really concerned regarding the features. Like, are the other NOs even showing any concern regarding these, or it's just Portugal and Spain?
Yes, this is also my biggest concern regarding the concept note, because there's just one mention to events in the whole concept note. And this is kind of like our thing, like we have to do big events, we have to do nice events. And of course, right now we have Event Hub, but if this comes in, we cannot be using Event Hub anymore. We're gonna have to be using this. And they do not mention it. They say they might have an in-house events platform, but this is like, we need to ask what is the plan, because if this is, by 2030, if this is implemented without an events platform, I don't know what we're gonna do. So coming to the GA, Elder's gonna be representing us, but this is gonna be like our flagship. Like, we need to know about what's the events platform plan, because right now we do not have much information. On the beginning of this school year, they had a partnership going on with MyGoku, which is also an event platform, event management platform, but it was something probational. So it was also one of the questions I asked him. But yes, we need to figure this out, because the idea for sure is to have the event management also implemented in this website, but right now there's no information.
Okay, thanks. My last question is covered. I just want to do a final comment, which is regarding taking this as a priority. It's really important that in ESN Portuguese, it's important that this doesn't come as just like let's do one feature, then in 1 month it comes another feature, then in 6 months comes another feature. It's important it comes as a solid product, because we'll need to get rid of what we have. And Event Hub, although it has a lot of problems, it works perfectly, and in the end, it's a good system. So we really need a system that covers most of our needs. Otherwise, it will be a mess for like to manage the events, and you know better than anyone. So yeah, thank you for your work again, and please persist on this.
Thank you, Fifi. And if I can ask all of you guys, I showed you the numbers. Like, this is going to impact literally everything. You saw how much money is being invested in this project, so it's really important that I gather your input so I can tell ESN International what this project should look like. Like, what features should be there? Are you concerned about the digitalization of the ESN card? What's going to be your issues in your sections? This is your time to tell me.
Would anybody else like to add themselves to the speakers list?
Yes.
Speak.
So, Sfilardes and me, I just want to tell you I think we obviously as me, I think it's very nice to have this topic in the NP. We know IT is kind of black sheep of ESN in general, and I think this is very important for us to know, and it's just an appreciation. Thank you so much. I think you're doing an amazing job, and yeah, thank you so much.
I propose to close the speakers list. Does anybody oppose?
No.
Guys, come on. No, actually, like, I showed you the numbers. This is crazy important. Like, do more.
Can I do a comment?
Yes.
Okay, so in behalf of ESN Port, we'll try to give you back a document with our clear needs and exactly what we need. Because I don't think probably in a formal conversation we talked, but we were negotiating with another platforms that have amazing event system, and for us, sorry, it's a priority. So we have already got a lot of notes. I'll make sure to give back to you.
Okay, perfect. As I said, this concept note was forwarded through the sections emails, but I'm also going to send it to the national platform, so you can also read it all the way through and give me your inputs. Regarding other events management platforms, this is going to have to be implemented in all sections. Not right now, but in the close future, so keep this in mind when you're thinking about other stuff.
I propose to close the speakers list. Does anybody oppose? Speakers list is closed. Thank you, Victor.
Thank you.
We're going on a 20-minute coffee break. The coffee break will be exactly in the same spot as yesterday. And I will repeat that we have 2 sheets that the president should sign, one for every single participant as well. So please do that if you haven't already. Talk to the merch if you haven't talked to the merch, and then go have fun. We're going to be back at 12:10.